Hey guys, so I'm back with another book talk. It feels like it's been quite a while since I've done one of these. I don't know if it really has, maybe since May, so I guess it has been a while. Sorry if I get sweaty. The AC in my apartment is no longer working and I hate myself. Today I'm going to be talking about Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. This is book 5 in the Harry Potter series, and I have so many feels about this book, and if you guys have been following me, you know I've been kind of marathoning this, and I'm hopefully trying to finish before classes start on the 21st, which probably by the time this video goes up will have already happened. And looking at it now, I don't think I'm going to finish because I have, a little over a week as I'm filming this, and I'm just now starting Half-Blood Prince, so we'll see what goes on. But anyways, like I said, I've been marathoning this, and if you've noticed, I haven't really done any book talks about the other 4 books, and that's because not that I enjoy them. Like, you've seen them all my wrap-ups. I have loved every second of all of the books, but I haven't felt the need to make a book talk and like talk my feelings out. There just wasn't a lot of talking points. But as of reading Order of the Phoenix, I finished it and I wasn't gonna make one, but then I was rewatching Order of the Phoenix. I watched it twice this week, the movie, and just as I was watching the movie, you know, I started thinking about a lot of things, and some things are just boiling over and I feel like I really need to talk about. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and talk about this. I feel like I shouldn't have to say this because everybody and their freaking grandma and their dogs have read Harry Potter, but if you were like me and, you know, you're one of those few people who are now in their early adults, late adulthood that still haven't read Harry Potter, there are going to be spoilers from now on, so you might want to click out of this video. But if you are like the rest of the population who actually read it as a child, welcome. And I know I'm really late on this video, but here are my thoughts. So let's talk a little bit about some settings. So in this book we get to actually see inside the Ministry of Magic, which we've heard about throughout all of the other books, but we've never actually seen it. And to get to see it come to like life in my head, and then also seeing it like in life on the screen, I thought it was amazing. It was really cool. I think it's interesting that it's underground instead of above ground, because I was kind of thinking, you know, in Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, since it is set here in the United States, their building is like an actual building, and I just thought it was really cool that, you know, the UK has theirs underground and all that stuff, and there's so many different departments and everything, and especially the Department of Mysteries is not what I was expecting, even though it is, you know, called the Department of Mysteries, and it does really fit the title it is given. I didn't expect it to be a bunch of random rooms that you have to kind of guess what door you're going through, and they just hold all these different mystery type things, like the hummingbirds that keep going back to the egg and hatching, and then, you know, going through the weird brain things and like all that stuff, and then of course the prophecies. I did not think that's what it was going to be, and I really love the way that department was written, just because it was totally so unexpected of what it could be, and I just freaking loved it. And since I mentioned the prophecies, can I just say, like, the fact that we find out at the end that this prophecy could have been about Neville too, just like blew my mind, because Neville has, I don't want to say he's grown on me because I've kind of already loved him since the first book. He's the goofy one of the friend group who just kind of is always like messing up without realizing it, and it's sad because he's really trying, but you know, it's just so interesting to think that what if the story had been reversed and this had all happened to Neville instead of Harry? What would everything be like? And does Neville know this? Of course Neville doesn't know this, but how would Neville react if he knew that this prophecy could have been potentially about him? It blows my mind. And since I'm just gonna kind of just like hop from subject to subject because things just kind of go around, since I've mentioned Neville, let's talk a little bit about characters here. So I really like that we get to see in this book, first we really meet Luna Lovegood, who I know is a lot of people's favorite character in the entire series, and I honestly love her. She's so unique, and I think that's what I love so much about her. And the way she's just, you know, so she doesn't really know these kids, you know, she's kind of an outcast at Hogwarts. Everybody makes fun of her, they call her Loony Lovegood, they steal her things and they hide them from her, and it's really sad. But the fact that she's willing to go to bat with this group of other students that she really doesn't know, and just, you know, basically kind of like, you know, I'm willing to die for this, and I mean, thankfully she doesn't. but I just really love that she's so able to sacrifice that, even though, you know, she hasn't really known these kids her entire time at Hogwarts. Like, she's known who they are, but she's not really friends with them. And so I'm hoping this friendship bond continues, because I really would like to see her within our main group of, you know, protagonists. And then, of course, Neville. I really like that we're getting to see more of Neville, and in the action pack, I think Harry's creation of the DA is definitely kicked Neville into, okay, it's time to get serious. Like, I do want to be part and help, you know, bring down Voldemort and all this. And I love getting to see him grow into himself. And, you know, he's finally able to actually master spells. He can stun things, and he can do all these amazing things now thanks to Harry, because he's finally got a teacher that is willing to help him and, you know, move along and not just look at him as a lost cause, as a lot of people do. And I like that. I really hope we get to continue to see Neville grow throughout the rest of the 2 books, because I am loving him so freaking much. So also, we get introduced to another new character in this book, Umbridge, and let me just say, I freaking hate her just like everybody else who has read the series or watched the movies. She is absolutely awful. Like, honestly, I think she's probably even worse than Voldemort. Like, a lot of people do say that. They said they're more scared of Umbridge than they are of Voldemort, and I'm like, that's bad when you're, like, not technically a villain, but everybody hates you more than the actual villain of the story. Then you've got some problems. And it was so funny, because my roommate and I share a lot of pins on Pinterest about different fandoms. So, like, right now our current phase is Harry Potter, but before that we were sharing a crap ton of, like, Percy Jackson stuff, because right now I'm reading it for the first time, and she read, like, the first 4 books, and she's gone back and she's rereading that to finish the series. She's on Deathly Hallows right now. So we've been sharing, like, a lot of, like, Harry Potter pins, since we're both kind of like, oh my god, about everything. But I saw this one pin, and it was like a Tumblr post, and it's like, you know, for once I want a villain who's, like, likes pink and is into frilly things, and not, you know, the dark, depressing evil that we normally see. And somebody put a picture of Umbridge in her office, and underneath it said, and she was the worst of them all. And she really is. She is so awful, and I just don't understand how she just, why she's so awful. Like, I can't even put into words my dislike and hate for this woman, but it's there, and I know everybody else feels the way that I do about this, because I don't think there's anybody out there in their right mind who even, like, slightly likes Dolores Umbridge. Like, she is no. I just want to make a side note. I was talking to my roommate about this, because, you know, we get to see a snippet from Snape's memory about being basically tortured by James and Sirius and Remus, and it's really sad. I feel like they shouldn't have done that to him, but, you know, there's always bullies in school, whether it's a magical boarding school or real life high school. It happens, and I feel like they shouldn't have done that, because, you know, James even says it was just because he was there, not for any particular reason to spite him, which I think is really sad. But I would just like to say, I absolutely love James, Sirius's, and Remus's friendship. I would definitely really love to see, like, a side story or something. I want more of their time at Hogwarts, because they sound like they got into so much trouble, and I would just really love to see that. So please let me, like, help fill my heart with joy, and link down some fan fiction down below of the 3 of them, or, like, James and Sirius, like, in school, because I really need that right now. That's, like, all I want, because, like, I know a lot of people, you know, their favorite characters are, like, you know, Neville, Luna, or, you know, the Golden Trio and all that, but honestly, I think, like, I really do love Luna and Neville just like everybody else, but, like, I think my favorite characters are probably Lupin and Sirius. I just love them so much, and my heart hurts so bad after reading this book. But I would really just like to see more of them interact. So if you have some really great fanfiction that you've read, please link it down below. I would prefer if it's on the website Wattpad, because I already have an account. But if not, it's whatever. Just link some amazing fanfiction down below, because my heart needs it right now. So we have, majority of this book, we are fighting against not fighting against, but you know, we're against the Ministry of Magic because Fudge has decided not to believe Dumbledore and Harry when they say that Voldemort is back and ready to basically re-destroy the Wizarding World once again. And I'm like, how can you not believe this? There is sufficient evidence, and then, you know, people are going missing and all of this other crap. Like, how can you deny the facts in front of your freaking eyes that he is back? And they just keep trashing them, and it's just so bad. And I'm like, you can't. And I understand Fudge wanted to not employ that hysteric panic that happened last time Voldemort rose, but then again, it's like, well, if you don't want to alert the public yet, you should at least be looking into it, like, under the table and not releasing the information to the public instead of completely discrediting these people. If I was in the position, I would have been like, we have no leads, there is no proof that he's here, but, you know, after you release that press statement, then you go and you start looking into, okay, well, this is said that this is supposed to be associated with him, and looking into that kind of thing. But no, Fudge is just like, no, it's not happening. But, you know, you should still look into it because that's a very serious piece of news. If, you know, the Dark Lord has returned. But, you know, it's whatevs, right? We're all just gonna die. So, I love the magical creatures in the series. I think it is so amazing. And these Thestrals, I think is what they're called. The things that draw the carriages to Hogwarts every year. I think they're so cool, and the fact that they're very, you know, docile compared to some of the other magical creatures we've been in contact with in this series. And I think the most interesting thing is that some people can see them and some can't. If you have seen death outright, you can see them. So obviously, we know Luna can see them, Harry can see them, and Neville can see them, as well as some other students. We know why Luna can see them. Now, I was honestly wondering why Harry couldn't see them from the beginning, like his first year at Hogwarts, because he did have the abracadabra curse put on him, but he survived, even though, you know, he didn't come close to death. I would assume that would be a death brush there that would continue that, but I guess not, since he was a baby, so he doesn't really remember. But we obviously know now he can see them after his near-death experience with the Dementors before school started. But I think that's a really cool thing. And finally, this had to come up at some point, and I didn't originally know when I read this book. I was like 3/4 of the way through it, and I was like, I'm gonna finish. I was super excited, and I was talking to one of my best friends who's also a huge Harry Potter fan, and I was like, I don't know what's gonna happen at the end, but I really am excited to find out. And then, you know, I told her, I was like, I was kind of spoiled because, Harry Potter is like as old as I am. That's 20. Oh my god, I'm so old. Just kidding, I'm really not that old. But we were talking, I was like, I know some characters die because obviously since Harry Potter has been around for 20 years and I am part of the Harry Potter generation, even though I am starting extremely late, there are a lot of posts about it, so I know quite a few characters that had died, and I was naming them off, and I said, Sirius. And my friend looks at me, and she's like, oh yeah, he dies in Order of the Phoenix. And I was like, why would you tell me that? I didn't know that. I didn't get to that part yet. So, I was kind of prepared for when he died, and I just can't, because Sirius is, again, one of my favorite characters. And I can't believe he's gone, and now Harry has nobody at all. I mean, he has the Weasleys, and he has Dumbledore, and the rest of the Order of the Phoenix, but, Sirius was his last, parental, he was his godfather, who was gonna take care of Harry, they're gonna live together, they're gonna be happily ever after, but no, that doesn't fucking happen. That doesn't happen. But you know what? You know whose fault it is? And this is what I was thinking about. It is fucking Harry's fault. No matter what anybody says, he did it. He is the reason that Sirius is dead. Because, it's his fault. Hermione even said, you do have a hero complex. You want to help whoever's in trouble. You had that vision that Sirius is being held in the Department of Mysteries. You want to go save him, but we need to double check before. And he's like, well, I was right about Mr. Weasley being attacked. Well, still, Voldemort probably understands now that you're there and you can see through his head. You get me? Like, he's totally playing a trick, and then he does try to contract Sirius through the fireplace, but then he doesn't, because, you know, Sirius is upstairs taking care of the hippogriff, and Creature is, you know, a nasty thing and lied, and all that crap. And then I was so mad at the end because I forgot that Sirius gave Harry a little package, and at first I thought it was like a journal, so I thought it was going to be something kind of like Tom Riddle's journal, but then it wasn't. It ends up being a two-way mirror, and he told Harry before Harry left for school, like, if you need to talk to me, use this. And of course Harry, being a fucking dumbass, just decides to throw it away, and he's like, no, I'm not gonna do that. He could have so easily contacted Sirius, because Sirius had the other half of the glass, and talked to him, and Sirius would still be alive, and, you know, all that crap that went down in the Department of Mysteries wouldn't have happened. And I'm just not okay. I'm not okay that Harry is the reason he died, and Harry was trying to blame Dumbledore, but no, Harry, if you would just have opened the package and, like, read the back of the glass, you know, before all of that crap happened, like, we would be okay. And so I'm just not okay. So I'm kind of salty at Harry right now because Sirius is gone, and I don't think my heart will ever recover from this. Okay, so anyways, now that this rambling is over, again, it's not very coherent thoughts. Like, I just tell you, like, I was thinking about this and I was like, man, I really do have quite a bit to talk about, mostly about Sirius, because freaking Harry, why would you do this to me? Anyways, overall, I rated this book a 5 out of 5 stars, like I've rated all the other books. And I know I'm missing Philosopher's Stone, but I think my sister has it. But it was so amazing, and I really cannot wait to see what is going to happen in the next book. As a favorite book so far, I am really, really torn. I really love Prisoner of Azkaban because of the twist that happens with Sirius actually being completely innocent and all this stuff, and Harry finding out he has another parental type figure and all this stuff. Like, I really loved that, and, you know, being introduced to Lupin and Sirius to begin with. I really loved Prisoner of Azkaban, love it so much, but I also really, really, really love Order of the Phoenix, and I just am so torn between which one is my favorite. As of right now, I think I'm kind of at a tie because I just love them so much, and there's just so much that happens in Order of the Phoenix that I love so much, so I can't decide which one. I love them both so much. Okay, anyways, I'm going to go ahead and stop yammering on about things here. Don't forget to give this video a giant thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more videos from me. And yeah, all my social media links are down below if you want to friend me or follow me, whatever. It is totally cool with me. Until then, I'll see you guys in my next video. Goodbye!